We want to make sure that the game is accessible and not punishing, and you can take your time, because a lot of the problem solving that you're going to have to do in this game is pretty intense.
I feel like you could play Tin Hearts and still go to bed afterwards and not feel exhausted.
The most important thing when making puzzle difficult is collaboration. It's important to get feedback early on.
And that's just about getting other people to play it. Because obviously we know that it's not for us.
Yeah.
So
well, we know the solution to all of the puzzles.
Yeah, it's very important someone's first time playthrough.
Yeah.
That is such an important thing. Difficulty does fluctuate because each act is very different mechanically. Conceptually, narratively, they're all distinct experiences. So we kind of had to design it in a way. So it's like, even though Act 3 is after Act 2, because it's so mechanically different, we have to reintroduce the player to new mechanics and ramp that difficulty back up.
The puzzles don't necessarily become more difficult, but they're certainly more complex. There's more to think about. But at the end of the day, you are still just placing down blocks and redirecting soldiers and interacting with machines.
In particular, the balloon machine is a really cool invention that you see Albert making in one of the levels as you progress through. He makes different iterations of it, and that's revealed to you. And it's really nice how detailed the balloon machine itself is. When your little cute soldier comes in, there's a little hand that grabs the balloon from a bucket, puts it onto the little balloon pump, and you see the whole machine pumping the balloon up, and another little hand goes to fast off just as your soldier grabs it, and then flies away in the air holding it like that. That's super cute.
Look, Daddy, it's working, you did it! You're the best, Daddy.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
You're not really going to get stumped by anything too much. It's still a puzzle game. You still got to think about what you're doing, but it's a heck of a lot more sort of forgiving, I think, than some other puzzle games that completely melt your brain.
It's a constantly evolving and fresh experience for a player. They're always going to be on their toes, but they'll also have more familiar mechanics to kind of lean back on and help guide them through more challenging areas of the game.
We spent an awfully long time making a visualizer system, so when you stop the soldiers, you pause them, they shoot out their path that they're going to follow, and it moves quite quickly and you can see where they're going to go.
We had to simulate what an actual soldier would do. So behind the scenes, though you can't see it, there are actual soldiers with passport systems attached to them making that trail.
So it really gives you sort of the ability to almost, in some levels, plan out the entire level before you even start it. So it's sort of like when you're setting up a bunch of dominoes. I feel like that's a lot more satisfying than just regularly playing.
We want to make sure that you can take your time with that process and you don't feel overwhelmed. So time manipulation, was something that we wanted to do pretty early on.
You have the ability to rewind time in the game. If you could go back in time, what would you go and do?
I would go back in time and I would stop us adding the rewind feature because it has been the worst thing in the world to set up.
Yeah. We get a bit enthusiastic with the mechanics. We can kind of throw something at a wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
It's mainly when the code come along and ask us politely not to do what we've done because it breaks many conventions.
Like making it go forwards, that's easy, that's fine. But then making them rewind properly so that the rest of the level doesn't fall apart. Like some machines will take us several weeks to add in the rewind capability when doing the forward version of it has taken maybe an hour.
It's a game of trial and error and trying new things.
You do need the ability to redo, and this seems like the most elegant way of doing it that fits in with sort of the narrative tone that we want to establish and to sort of fit with some of the beats that we want to discuss.
Time is such a big theme in the game, and the time mechanic itself feeds into the story, but in real life there's no rewind. And what does that mean and this is something that we explore in the story itself, what does that mean? You can't take time back, and what does that mean in terms of the decisions you make? It's going to be interesting to see how people kind of react to this approach.